we will be looking at 3 specific vocabulary terms for Unit 5, Lesson 1, which covers expressions and the order of operations. The 3 words we're going to be looking at go specifically with expressions, variable, expression, and term. So within this video, we won't be doing really any examples of the order of operations, but you do need to know these three words and what they are and how they're different. So a variable, we have seen these before in area is equal to base times height. That B and that H, those are variables, they're letters. We've also seen them in science where they stand for something or things that can change. So if we had to look at the definition of it, it is a letter or a symbol that is used to represent a number. Again, like I said, area equals base times height. That B, it could be 4 if the base is 4 and the height could be 5. It doesn't mean every B is going to equal 4 and every H for height is going to equal 5. They all stand for something. Think of it like a placeholder. That's what those variables are. Those variables can change. You could be told, hey, A equals 7,642 and B equals 3. They can change over any kind of expression that we see. It's the same thing when we saw finding the area of a triangle, half base times height, same thing. So an expression, this one has kind of some rules. Now, the big one I always remember is that it doesn't have an equal sign. That'd be more like an equation. So these ones, they can have numbers. They have to have at least one. They can have variables, have to have, like one or the other, and be like a number. It could have a variable and a number. It could be 2 variables. It could have a mixture of both, 1 and 1 or 1 and 5. It could have any of those. But I always remember for myself that it does not have to have an equal sign. Again, that would be more of an equation. And these expressions we're really trying to look at and evaluate them and analyze them. I'll be showing you some examples of things that are expressions and things that are not. So the definition of it being made up of one or more numbers, one or more variables, or both numbers and variables. Often they include one or more operations, but no equal sign. So it could have addition and subtraction and division, really anything under the sun. It could have more than one. So if we're looking at examples, and I would write P divided by 7, that's an expression. I have a variable, I have a number, I have an operation, no equal sign. 13, that's also an expression. The letter T, that's also an expression. 7 plus 4 equal 11. Ooh, that's not an expression. That has a equal sign, and that it makes it not an expression. 1/2 times K plus S, that's an expression. So terms, maybe you've heard things like we sign on these terms and conditions. Terms are parts of an expression that add or subtract. I'm going to give you some examples, and so you can see what they are. I always try to remember these in my mind: terms, adding, subtracting, thinking of the T being like a plus sign and the S reminding me of subtracted. You see, I thought I moved my mouse out of the way. Oh, there you go again. Had a mouse in the picture. So if I write an expression, y plus p, both the y and the p, or the 9, sorry, the y and the 9, those are terms. I'm adding them. Y plus 9. G minus 2g. Now the 2g is telling me I'm going to multiply the g, but that on its own, g minus 2g, those are terms because I'm subtracting them. 3/4 a plus b minus 1, all of those things are terms because I'm adding or subtracting them. And that's 3 words that you definitely need to know throughout this unit.